guys, I hope everybody is having a wonderful start to their week. If you're new to the channel, welcome to another Granny Square Tuesday. I believe this is week 14. My name is Adrian and Kiwi is my Indian ringneck. He's currently taking a nap. So this series on my channel, basically what I am doing is I'm going through this book called The Ultimate Granny Square Source Book, and I'm picking out the floral squares and working them up to show you guys what my version looks like. Now initially I had planned on doing tutorials, but because of copyright issues I have not been able to do tutorials on these squares. However, I am trying to reach out through email to some of the 23 designers that are in this book to get permission to do some tutorials on, if nothing else, maybe a few of them. So let's see. This week's square is the Sweet Peach square, which is on page 114. So let me see. I'm going to zoom in and show you guys. This is their version here. And I'm sorry, my table is such a mess right now. I've got stuff everywhere. So you can see it does have a graph. This book does have graph instructions. It also has written instructions. But they use yellow, pink, and white. And I decided to go ahead and continue with that theme with the yellow and the pink. Now, the colors that I chose, this is Magenta by Big Twist, which I have heard that Hirschner's is going to pick up Big Twist, but I don't know. There's a couple of different places I've heard that are going to pick up Big Twist, including Hirschner's and Michael's, but I don't know which place is picking up Hirschner's Big Twist Value, which is what this is. This colorway is called Magenta, and I bought it a few years back. And then this yellow color here is actually just some scrap yarn that I picked up from the thrift store. And then this tan color is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Buff, which is the color that I am working. It's, I guess you would call it my base color, because all of the squares, the outside round is this buff color. So this one was pretty easy to work. It worked up really quickly. Now the book does have squares that have 80 stitches around or 112 stitches around. The squares that I'm picking out are only 80 stitches. So all of the squares that you guys have seen are the 80 stitch count squares. At some point I'm going to be showing you guys what all of the different squares look like, and I'm going to sew them all together to make a small throw. Let's see, this is what, week 14? So we have approximately 6 more squares to go. I think I picked out a total of 20 out of the book. I think it was. And of course I'm gonna have to put a border on it because I don't know that all of these squares are going to you know, be big enough for a throw. If you give me a minute, I will grab my tape measure and we'll see how big this one turned out. I know I've got some that are slightly bigger and slightly smaller. Some of them, my tension was really tight, and so they're quite a bit smaller. So this one turned out about 6.5, and they seem to be fitting in the 6 to maybe 7.5 inches across is what most of mine have been fitting into. Now I'm working, I'm using a 5.75 millimeter hook with worsted weight yarn, weight 4 yarn. So that is slightly larger. The hook size that I'm using is slightly larger than what the book calls for. So mine are expected to be a little bit larger anyways. So here's what the back looks like. This one, I mean, there are a few spots that I'm gonna have to weave in, but I know there was a couple, I think there was a couple of spots that I just crocheted. Maybe not. Maybe this one I actually cut and rejoined. It's probably because the front post double crochets in this one. There's quite a few front post double crochets, but usually I try to crochet over my tails as best as I can. I'm going to enlist Benjamin's help with weaving in the ends. But yeah, we have approximately 6 weeks to go, and then you guys will get to see all 20 different squares, and I will get started joining them. So yeah, I really like this square. Like I said, it's called the Sweet Peach Square. It's on page 114, I believe it is. Yeah, page 114, Sweet Peach, the Sweet Peach Square. Granted, mine's not a peach color, but I like the little, I like the real bright pink with the bright yellow. I think, I didn't like check my other squares to see what the other squares looked like, or whether or not they were going to complement this particular square. In fact, I haven't done that with any of the squares. I just picked out the colors that I wanted to work this square in, and hopefully when I lay them all out, they'll look okay together. But yeah, so definitely if you guys are interested in granny squares, or even if you never have worked with granny squares, check this book out. I highly recommend it. I have been having a lot of fun working up the granny squares in this book, and prior to doing this project, I have completely steered away from granny squares, feeling like they were very old-fashioned, you know, but I really, after, you know, looking at this book and working the squares out of it, I really feel like granny squares have come a very long way since, you know, just your standard typical granny stitch granny square. Now I would definitely use this particular square in a garment. I could totally see myself using this as in a garment, just because of the, it's, you know, it's just one great big flower, and I could see myself making the flower in different colors and maybe making a cardigan or even a pair of pants. You guys know I'm always talking about making pants. One of these days I'm gonna do it. But I could see myself making maybe some pajama pants out of this particular square if I had the right yarns. But anyways, guys, that is what I have for you for Granny Square Tuesday. I really appreciate you guys coming each week to look at the progress of this you know, this project. I really do. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next week for my next Granny Square Tuesday. Bye guys!